A wedding day is supposed to be a sacred occasion, the happiest moment of a person's life. But for Caitriona Balfe, the star of Outlander, that moment was covered with an unbelievable layer of drama, when she unexpectedly called her ex-husband, Tony McGill, to the church. Not to hold on, but to witness her getting married to Sam Heughan. News of Caitriona and Sam's secret wedding has sent fans into a frenzy in recent days. However, the detail that shocked everyone the most was Caitriona's strange but emotional act, inviting Tony, her former legal husband, to be a witness to one of the most important moments of her life. The chosen location was an ancient church in the Scottish Highlands, where the two had filmed many romantic scenes in Outlander. All information about the ceremony was kept secret until the last minute, with only a few close friends, families and close crew attending. Amidst the peaceful scenery of the hills and the church bells ringing in the wind, Caitriona walked down the aisle in a delicate lace dress, her eyes sparkling like morning dew. Beside her was Sam, handsome, dignified, his eyes unable to take their eyes off the woman he had secretly loved for years. But all eyes were immediately drawn when a car stopped right outside. Tony McGill stepped out, his face unable to hide the tension and surprise. He had received a call from Caitriona just hours before the ceremony. "I want you there," as an ending, and also a beginning. According to a close source, in that short but heavy call, Caitriona made it clear. "I didn't call you here to be heartbroken. I called you here to witness me happy. Something we both know I've never truly had when I'm with you." To many, this action was a crazy thing to do. But for Caitriona, it was a way to purge the past, face herself, and put an end to a chapter of her tormented life. Tony came to the ceremony in silence, sitting in the back row. No tears, no resentment. Just a quiet look towards Caitriona as she gave Sam the ring. Sam had waited longer than anyone for this moment. He once said in an interview, "Loving Kate is not a choice, it is an instinct." Their love lasted, quietly but persistently for many years, from the first days they met on set to the storms that surrounded them from rumors, scandals, and even wrong decisions. When exchanging vows, Sam looked into Caitriona's eyes and said, "I have stood by you in hundreds of scenes, thousands of moments of pretending. Today, finally, I am living for real." And she replied, "I once entered a marriage because I was afraid of being alone. Today, I entered your life because I cannot live without you." The service ended, and everyone left the church in the fading light. Tony was the last to stand. Sam stepped forward, gently placing a hand on his shoulder. No words were needed, they both knew that their lives had forked, and only one remained. Caitriona, in her final moments, turned to hug Tony, not an ex-husband, but a part of her memory. Then she walked away, hand in hand with the man she should have chosen in the first place. Just hours after the wedding, a blurry image of Caitriona in a white wedding dress and Sam standing in front of the altar appeared on social media. It's unclear who first shared the images, but they quickly became the top trending image on Twitter under the hashtag #KateSamWedding. Fans around the world, especially the Outlander fan community, were overwhelmed. Thousands of congratulatory messages, emotional statuses, and even clips summarizing Caitriona and Sam's love journey were shared continuously. A major fanpage account wrote, "We've been waiting for this for almost a decade. True love doesn't need to be declared, it shows itself, and today, it wins." However, there was also a fair amount of controversy, especially when Tony McGill's name was mentioned in the posts. Some people expressed confusion when Caitriona invited her ex-husband to witness her wedding, even calling it a cruel act. But most people thought that this was a way to close the past with maturity and respect. In an exclusive interview after the wedding, Caitriona shared for the first time about this controversial decision. "Tony is not just my ex-husband. He is a part of my life, and I owe him a proper goodbye. I don't want to end everything with tears or arguments. I want to end it with a thank you, a peaceful look." She paused for a moment, as if trying to hold back her emotions, then continued. I invited him not because of the past, but because of the present. I want when I enter my new life with Sam, I have nothing unsettled with anyone. That is the last gift I give myself. Sam, sitting next to her, just smiled slightly. He didn't interfere, needless to say, because he accepted Caitriona as she was, including the wounds she carried. The love between Sam and Caitriona didn't come from a fleeting glance or a quick crush. It was a mature feeling, tested by distance, time, other relationships, and the glare of fame. In more than 10 years of working together, they had been rumored to be dating, denied, kept silent, and stood by each other when the world around them always tried to push them into a defined framework. A friend in the industry said, Sam has had many relationships, Caitriona has too. But together, they are always the safest place to return. On the wedding night, after all the guests had left, Caitriona and Sam sat by candlelight in a small room at the back of the church. They didn't say much, just held hands, looking at each other as if the world had suddenly gone silent. Do you think, if we had been braver from the start, things would have been different? Caitriona asked softly. Maybe, Sam replied, kissing her forehead lightly. But then we wouldn't have learned to appreciate each other so much. The next day, the couple left the Highlands and returned to their normal lives. But from that moment on, they no longer had to hide. No more furtive glances behind the scenes, no more denials in interviews. They officially belonged to each other, not just on screen, but in real life. For Sam and Caitriona, the wedding was more than a ritual. It was a beautiful ending to past failures, and the beginning of a love that they knew was worth risking everything,